Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Welcome to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. This is episode 102. And today's episode is going to be pertaining to the Tops/Fanatics or Fanatics/Tops conference that happened, I believe, in Arizona. Full disclosure, I did not go, but a lot of information came out of that conference nonetheless from Tops's timeline themselves on Twitter and other social medias, and other people who did attend, put some of the new stuff that's coming out. So I'm going to review that new information for those of you that maybe didn't catch some of those news briefs or didn't go, which is probably most of us, and some interesting stuff for sure. And would have been nice to go. I just couldn't do it, but that's the other thing. In today's, social media world, news travels fast. So I still have that info for you. And that's what this episode is going to be about. But before we get to that portion, let's start the show with some of our other segments, and we'll talk about that shortly.
Hi guys, it's Max again from the Sports Card Shop in New Buffalo, Michigan, back at it again with another weekly releases for the Sports Card Nation podcast. On the 8th, we have 2021 Pro Set Baseball, Hobby, and Blaster. And on the 9th, we have 2021 Panini Contenders Football, 2021-22 Panini Downers Choice Basketball, 2021-22 Panini Prism Premier League Soccer, 2021 Topps Chrome Formula 1 Racing, 2022 Topps Opening Day Baseball, 2021 Topps WWE Women's Division, and on the 11th, we have 2022 Leaf Vibrant Multisport. And this week's Sports Card Nation listener special is Prism Soccer cereal boxes for $19. Find us and follow us on social media to get the deal. @_sportscardshop.
It's time for the Hobby What's Up, where we go around the hobby world and tell you all the latest news and breaking stories from the hobby we love.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
All right. Probably the big news is the Topps Fanatics Summit in Arizona, but that's actually the topic of today's Hobby Quick Hits, so I'll save that rather than talk about it here in the news segment. You'll hear all about it during the feature presentation. More theft in the industry, but this time your friendly neighborhood postman, Paul Robinson, 26, from Missouri, was caught eventually, but not before he stole 94 cards from April through June of 2021. When they search warranted his house, they found 440 mail pieces undelivered at his house, including another card that wasn't part of the 94. If convicted, he faces 5 years in prison. Doesn't seem enough. And a Kevin Durant card valued at $1,900 was what kind of set off the investigation, which turned out to be a bigger one than the one card. He was caught bringing some cards to a card store in his postal carrier's uniform and caught on surveillance. And so, needless to say, he won't be delivering any mail at this point. He's been terminated, and again, he will go to trial to face those charges. I've talked about this on the show before. I figured it out earlier this year. I average about 1,000 pieces of card-related mail. So what I mean by card-related mail, I average, like I said, 1,000. That comes up to roughly 2.5, 3 a day, including Sundays, which I don't have, but it just averages out. And that's orders, card sales online, cards I send to someone, no strings attached, right? Random act of kindnesses. Correspondence with, like, guests on the show. I send them their guest cards and that sort of thing. So all total, every the last few years at about 1,000 pieces of mail that are card related. On not one of those will it say anything about sports cards. So, like, the name of my business and the thing's Newman Sports Cards, but anytime I send cards in the mail, it just has my regular name on it. I don't advertise what's in that, and it's a calculated decision. I don't want to put sports cards, or I don't want to put baseball card, please don't bend. I don't want to advertise what's in what's in these packages, because we see, man, with the hobby booming, what people think, with the hobby boom, everyone thinks every card is potentially $1 million, and that increases the temptation that something shady could happen. I got to be honest with you, I've never put Newman Sports Cards. It's always, if anything, it'll be JN Enterprises, which is my limited license corporation name. So JN Enterprises, which doesn't have any kind of card insinuation to it. And I think it's, I know we like to advertise our business name if it's sports cards, but I think we're at a point where, when you mail something, just put it under generic title. That way there's just less advertising of, what's in the pack. The Mickey Mantle NFT, issued by Topps on the OpenSea platform, has closed, and the winning bid was $471,000. No ID of the winning bidder, but whoever they are will get an exclusive interview with David and Danny Mantle. So we'll look forward to that if it becomes public. Beckett has announced they have relocated their headquarters with more space. Sound familiar? And that they hope to be caught up on their backlog by May of 2022, 2 months from now. Also, they've opened up a lower price level for submissions, $30 without subgrades, $50 with subgrades, and they hope to have your cards back within 30 to 45 days at that level. No economy value level just yet, but again, very similar to what we hear with PSA. So backlogs at least targeted to be caught up, but we'll see. On the personal side, Hobby News just did the Syracuse card show Sunday here, and did very well. It was my best Syracuse showing. Best sales as far as card shows in Syracuse. Not my best card show ever. I used to travel the tri-state area, so not my all-time record, but my local show record was tremendous. Sold a ton of vintage. Really need to, at this point, try to get even some more. I'm telling you, vintage is really starting to heat up, and sold a decent amount of wax, and did very well. Pleasantly pleased, and there was a show with 2 autograph signers, Devin Singletary, running back of the Buffalo Bills, and former Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Jimmy Smith, my Pop Warner teammate. Good crowd. Announced attendance was 800 people, which is also a Syracuse Fairground show record. So record crowd and record sales for me. So I'm in a good spot, in a good mood. Probably got to buy some more cards, and that's always a good problem to have. So there's a little personal news there.
Answer my question! The question!
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
All right, today's question comes via Twitter. The questioner did not want me to use their handle, so I'll respectfully not mention who they were. I get it. They basically asked, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit here. It was kind of a long private message. They basically said, John, I enjoy you when you make fun of some of those companies, PSA, and other people you kind of take, you make memes and you make fun of them and to get a point across. And I find myself laughing out loud. Are you worried about, repercussions from it? Are you worried about what people think, the companies themselves or the people that work for them? That's a great question. Really, I'm surprised actually no one's really asked me this before. And yeah, I'll post a meme, directed towards PSA. I've got one order in there that's well over a year, haven't got it back. And so I'll post a meme or make comments to, the fact that I have an order there that long. And, if I didn't know what cards I submitted, I probably would forget them all. I take pictures and write them down and print out my submission thing. But, that's just way too long. And so, I don't hate PSA, but they got to get stuff back quicker. And I know they're the busiest company. I know they're backlogged. I get all that stuff, but when you have someone's cards for over a year, you got to expect to take some of that. As far as, am I worried about what they think, or an employee or a higher up, if you will, on the corporate end? No. I mean, I'm more worried about them getting my stuff and other people's stuff back within 365 calendar days. And frankly, it's more than that. So that's my concern. The message also asked me, am I worried that someone won't come on the show because of a post that I make? I'm sure some people haven't come on the show because maybe of that. I don't know for sure. No one's ever come out and said that, but I've tried to get, not everyone says yes. I'm very honest about that. I've had people not answer a request to come on. I've had other people say they're too busy. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's their business. But I don't get in bed with companies. I call it sort of like I see it. SGC is my favorite grading company. They're a sponsor, but I've called them out on this program too. I know Peter Steinberg's been on the show multiple times, and he knows I give him the straight scoop, and I'm going to be fair and balanced and about how I report what they do, and that's one of the reasons we get along. So I can't worry about. I'm not looking to get in bed. There's plenty of hosts, frankly. I almost said your name there. Frankly, there's plenty of hosts that do that. That just, if you want to say it, kiss butt because they're worried about offending everybody and everything and sort of want to be Switzerland. I get it, and that's fine, to each their own. I'm not saying they're bad and I'm good or vice versa. We have different styles. My style is I'm going to have a little fun. Sometimes that might mean poking fun at a company for an issue that's ongoing and not being corrected. And, on the PSA case, which is what I think this question kind of came from. But again, if as far as worrying about, whether, someone's not going to come on, I don't lose sleep over that. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'd love to have a lot of people on the show that haven't been on the show. That's life, right? You don't get everything you want. So I'm going to be, honest, have a little fun at times. I don't make it, but that's the other thing I want to say when kind of close this question out. I don't make anything personal. Right? I don't name call. I don't swear. I don't say, I don't even say someone sucks usually, or I try not to. Another company I'm very tough on is HGA. Really, I probably pick on them more than PSA, and lots of reasons. I don't have time. This show's not long enough for that. But, I'm going to call, call things as I sort of see them. Your opinion might differ than mine. I don't like NFTs. You might. Neither one of us are wrong, right? That's just a personal taste. So I'm gonna just be me and be honest, have a little fun, hopefully make some of you laugh, hopefully be informative to others. But one thing's for sure: at the end of the day, I care about the hobby. That's not up for debate. As far as someone coming on the show or not coming on the show, that's up to them. I can ask, they can answer. It's either going to be yes, no, or no answer, and life goes on. We've had over 140 different people on the show, so we're not falling short of having guests on, and never will. So, and the hobby's the people, right? Everybody, collectors, CEOs, big wigs, small wigs, other content creators. It doesn't matter. All of us are part of this hobby just the same, and I will have all walks of life on the shows as guests. So, all right, went long enough on that question.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, so today's topic for Hobby Quick Hits is the information coming out of Topps' basically summit in Arizona. Again, like I said in the intro, I did not attend personally, but a lot of info on multi-levels from multiple different people and Topps themselves. I put this together. So it's almost going to sound like I was there, but full disclosure, I wasn't. But just the same, I think there's a lot of useful information and knowledge to share, and hence this show. So let's dive into it. But before we do, let's hear from our great sponsors, Mojo Breaks, and right after that, we'll go over that info.
MojoBreakShop.com is the best place to get your sealed wax products and brakes. They not only have the best selection, but the best prices. Whether it's a box or a whole case, they are your guys. They ship worldwide to your doorstep. Their reputation as one of the most trusted in the hobby goes unmatched. They are the 2021 Topps Rip Party Champion Breakers. From sports card to Pokemon cards, their selection can't be beat. They offer daily deals and pre-orders.
Hey guys, John Newman here. Mojo's prices are already great, but to save an additional 10% off anything in their store, use the code QUICKHITS. That's QUICKHITS. Check out the full service store that's open 7 days a week in Santa Clara, California, or the website at mojobreak.com. All right. So I think one of the things people really want to know is, hey, what new products with Fanatics, the licensing, what new products might we see right away? So just a few, right? Nothing really with the licensing, fully yet. I think we're going to start seeing those in 2023. So some new products: Stadium Club members only, Derek Jeter set. So we're like those Topps X sets, but Stadium Club members only. Cosmic Chrome Baseball. We also going to have the Dynasty, the one card per pack, usually patch autos, but minor league baseball edition rather than major league. So to get some of the younger prospects in a Dynasty product. The Gilded Collection, which is basically going to be like Transcendent Light. So Gilded Collection, which is being referred to as Transcendent Light, but still probably going to be an expensive product. The Cosmic Chrome Baseball that I mentioned will have galactic inserts in them. They did mention, I believe, that they still have 13 2021 products that have not been produced yet. We have paper shortage, production issues, printing issues, and Fanatics just got evaluated at $25 billion. And one thing I got to say, these printing issues, it's like there's two printers in the world, and, I think one's overseas and one's here, but, with all this money or capital they have, they've even raised investment money. Maybe build your own printing facility. I know it's not cheap. It's easy for me to spend Topps' money, Fanatics' money, and write a check that I can't cash, but I mean, they're going to be in this for the long haul, right? 20-year licensing. Build your own printing facility so you kind of control your own product, right? Fanatics wants to do everything they can. So, it may be in the works, and I don't know that, so I apologize if that's the case. But, man, if you got all that capital and investment money and you're worth that to begin with, build a physical plant that is a printer and print your own stuff. Many Topps and Panini products are actually printed in the same building. I always thought that was kind of odd. It would be like your Burger King, your Whopper, and your Big Mac being produced in the same meat factory. So I don't think that happens. I apologize if it does, but that would just strike me as odd. I always found that odd that Topps and Panini had some of their products printed in the same building. Different, but so maybe we'll see them build their own printing facility. I haven't heard anything to that like, but we'll see. Another thing Topps and Fanatics has announced, they want to integrate, and this is something I kind of talked about on the show that I was hoping they do, and they've announced they're really going to do that, and that's to integrate league experiences, giveaway prizes into the product. So, maybe win tickets or a meet and greet at a game, those sort of things. I heard that at stadiums they're going to have some interactive stuff with Topps and Fanatics. And so that's neat, bringing sort of more value to the hobby. And, if Fanatics' goal is to double the size of the hobby, which is, what's being reported, they're really gonna have to do that at the grassroots level. And again, many people who are in the hobby, right, were sports fans first. So get in on that ground level, expose people who might be fans of sports that aren't into cards and maybe don't even know cards exist in the form that they do. Overtime Elite Basketball will have a Chrome edition coming out. And it will have rookie logos on them. That RC that we're all familiar with Topps, those Overtime Elite Chrome rookies, if you will have the RC on it. Considered their first cards. Fanatics has said, there was a little Q&A. Fanatics has said that we are pro hobby shop. We are pro LCS. We know their importance. A stance I was pretty sure they would take. Glad to hear that. So if you're an LCS or a hobby store owner, especially a new one, I think it's important to hear that, and you probably feel a little bit better now after the summit than we were before. We all know about National Baseball Card Day. It's going to be August 6th. But it's not going to be called National Baseball Card Day. It's going to be called International Baseball Card Day. And it's also going to take place not just here in the States, but Japan, England, and Germany. So Japan, England, and Germany will be joining us in celebrating International Baseball Card Day. And that's kind of cool because I'm imagining some of those cards that are going to those overseas countries are going to be different. And it'll be fun to try to collect some of those foreign issued cards, if you will. And those countries may be looking for our American version. Something Josh Luber said that actually I disagree with, quite frankly. But one of his comments was that we need 10 times the breakers than we already have. So 10 times what exists now. I think that's a big number. I'm not saying more breakers can't be integrated into the hobby, and we are getting more, I believe. But 10 times, that's a lot, because there's a lot of breakers now, and then you multiply by 10. I mean, how much product would be produced again to satisfy all those folks? And with 10 times the breakers, will the customers be there to suffice as well? Another thing people are going to be happy about: redemptions will be improved. Remember, those scratch offs with the code, right? Like the lottery tickets. Sometimes if you scratch too hard, right, you scratch the number right off, and then you got to call Tops and figure out what to do. They're going to improve that system. They didn't say this, but I've said this on the show. I think you're going to see less redemptions with the relationships that Fanatics has with the players, and now the players have an equity seat at this table. I think that's even bodes well for less redemptions, and those players getting their autograph cards back into Fanatics/Tops maybe quicker than in previous years. Again, on-site activities at sporting events. They want to have a presence at sporting events, Fanatics and Tops. And let's save the best for last. And I'm being a little sarcastic with that one. I don't know if you're tired of card art yet, but if you are, don't go to bed. Project 100 has been announced. Again, another card art project. I don't know all the details, but smaller with more limited print runs. So I don't know what the price point is, but I think they're going to be. I don't think it's going to be print to demand. I think they're going to have a certain amount, and it's going to be a smaller print run. And you get in when you get in, and it's sold out when it's sold out. That I kind of like. And one more note here, I have Bowman University. So we all know the NIL, right? Name, image, likeness. We're getting college players. We're getting amateur players to have products produced. Well, there's going, with Bowman University, all the NIL cards that Fanatics/Tops produces will get the first Bowman treatment. So if it's a Bowman kind of related product, it's their first Bowman, it's going to have that first Bowman logo on it. So if it's a college player, let's say it's their first Bowman aligned product, it's going to have that first Bowman logo. If they then get drafted and they're in another Bowman product, let's say, that shouldn't have or won't have that first Bowman logo because they were in that as before they were a pro athlete. So that's going to, we're all worried about what's a rookie, what's the rules. They're changing the rules on the fly. This is just probably going to make the landscape a little bit more confusing, but I think the landscape is just a little more confusing anyway with NIL. So I don't think it's that big of. So there you go. Again, a lot of information coming out of this summit, and especially in comparison to previous years, with the obvious reason being this is uncharted territory, right? Tops has always been Tops their own company. It's not the case, as we all know, anymore. This is Fanatics/Tops. We've got new people at the top with their input and thoughts and ideas and visions, and we're going in a whole new directions. Sure, some things will remain the same, and then other things are going to change, and that's just some of it. Again, not being there, I'm sure there was other smaller details that I did not get to or don't know about. So I hope you found this information informative. I know I sure did, and pretty cool. And one thing that's nice is in today's modern technology, social media, news travel fast world, is you don't have to go to all these events and spend lots of money getting there: airfare, hotels, food, the price to get in depending on the event. You don't always have to go there. You can sort of virtually attend or live vicariously through others who have went. They're on their phones and computers getting that information almost in real time out. Some of these releases were literally from the Q&A rooms or the breakout sessions when this stuff came out. So didn't take too long to get that in. All right, there you go. All right, that's going to bring this Hobby Quick Hits to a close. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you learned something. I sure did with the information that came out of that conference. And I'm going to stick to those two words I say when I talk about Topps as this new company, in a sense, with Fanatics acquiring them. I'm cautiously optimistic. Everything's not going to be a home run. Let's be very clear about that. But if they get more right than wrong, I think the hobby will continue to be successful. And so we'll see. Someone asked me my biggest concern, I guess, is just, the quantity that they produce. And, and at the end of the day, it really doesn't affect me. I don't rip a lot of new stuff anyway, but just for the health of the hobby, I guess is my concern is them just might be too much. And I know they want to get a lot of new collectors in the space, but whether they can do that, number one, and what that means, for production, I don't know. We'll see. A lot of, the jury's out, as they say. But it's going to be fun to watch how everything progresses. And again, regardless of what Fanatics does or what happens, I'm going to be in the hobby for the long haul, not leaving. There's plenty of different ways to hobby. Just find one you enjoy and are passionate about and follow that. And so with that being said, that's a good note to end on. We'll see you very soon.